at district office for about the 60-day period. And so we have to have 2 public hearings before board can approve the this curriculum so that it can be taught via our health ed classes.
Okay, so we're in a public hearing, and if there anybody in the audience that would like to make any public comments regarding the curriculum as described, now's the time to do that. And we don't have any particular order. Just step up to the podium, and if you have any comments, the board is here to listen. So we're going to wait a few minutes and see if somebody else may come in that's not present, and then we'll adjourn if we don't have any public participation and move into the regular meeting.
Lucky you.
Okay, so obviously we're not going to get any public comments, and I think we probably would have had somebody that would have from outside of the participants in the boardroom. So we're going to adjourn the public hearing, and we're going to call to order the regular meeting, and please stand for the pledge. Alejandra, could you lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
By the way, did we have a roll call for the public hearing?
No.
Let's recess this meeting and go back for the record and have the roll call just as long as it's in the record for the public hearing. Would you do that now of the board?
Ms. Salcha?
Here.
Mr. Lindemann?
Here.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Here.
Mr. Berry?
Here. Okay, now we're back in the regular meeting. That's just for the record that all the board members were present. We'll move to the approval of the minutes, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of November the 1st, 2022 of the regular meeting.
I move to approve the minutes. Second.
Any discussion regarding the minutes? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Item F, summary of current events. Superintendent, Ms. Samaniego.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, and members of our community and staff. Wanted to inform that on Tuesday we will be having a work study session at 5 p.m. And the work study session is for the purpose of our school leaders to present their school letter grades, goals, objectives, next steps, and moving forward to continue the growth of our student academic achievement. ASBO has a one-day conference in January. ASBO is the officials of business leaders, and I have been nominated by the Attorney General's office to be part of a performance audit panel. So they've asked me to be part of this panel on the 25th of January. And I think it was my second year as superintendent that I went through my first ever performance audit. So I think I did well because they've nominated me to be part of this panel. So I will be attending that on January the 25th with other superintendents. We also have the Tim Brown Wrestling Invitational that takes place this Friday and Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. on both days. We encourage, our community to attend and, promote this event that takes a lot of planning, and we have about 10 teams, right, Mr. Vidal, participating. Also want to thank Mr. Ralph Robles, a member of our community, and for organizing the Kids Care fundraiser, which for the past, I believe, 4 years, we've taken kids Christmas shopping. We started at JCPenney, and the last 2 years we've done it at Walmart. So last night we took 5 students to Christmas shopping from our elementary schools, and so I want to thank him for organizing that. And just have a few updates on some of our buildings and construction and things that are taking place. So first of all, Mr. Soto has been involved in all of the procurement situations that we have regarding some of the schools that need roofing. So that's Clausen, RBMS, and that's it, right? Sarah Marley's. So 3 schools that have a procurement process starting. Clawson will most likely be the next school, and that work will take place probably in the summertime, and their whole roof will be replaced. And RBMS, it's the whole school except the gymnasium, and we're right now in the design stages, and then we'll enter into procurement and follow the bidding process. And the same process for Sarah Marley. We have now Ferris is completed with the work that has been done over the course of the last few months, and Mr. Soto will do one final last walkthrough with the architect to make sure that everything got situated. And that's Douglas High School continues working on the process of construction. We will be expecting delivery of some soft goods for the classrooms, and so we're working with the company and Mr. Soto and maintenance to house some of those soft items that will be delivered, but construction is ongoing. And that's all I have for now.
Are you going, senor?
See,
Easy.
yes,
This is-
yes.
Oh, okay.
Mr. President, can I just ask a question? And
Sure,
this
go
has
ahead,
nothing to
Doc.
do with
Yeah,
your
this is your
report.
night. This is your evening. You do anything you want. Okay.
The curriculum that you said was online, that will stay on for how long?
For another 30-some days through January, when is our board meeting, Alma? January 6th? No, 13th. Through January 13th.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a special privilege, and now that Bruce is here, and we're going to recognize an individual who's been on this board for 8 years, 12. You told me
Yes.
8. For 12 years. That's even better.
Yes.
Board members come and go, but when you have unique members like Dr. Gomez, who has dedicated his whole life, his professional service and his private life to the betterment of the community, health and welfare, spiritual well-being, it's commendable, Dr. Gomez. And what you've done for the district and this board is also exemplary, and we want to thank you and recognize you, and tell you that you're going to be deeply missed. So with that, let me get this on here. We have a presentation to make, and the presentation reads Governing Board President August 2015 to December 2016. And then it says Governing Board Member January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2022. B, with it says in sincere appreciation and recognition for your years of devotion and dedication to the students and staff of Douglas Unified School District number 27. And this is going to be presented on behalf of the board and the district to Dr. Edward Gomez.
Over that way just a hair. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Mr. President, I would like to say that it has been an honor serving with you, Doctor. You are very sincere and you really care about our community, and it's been a pleasure. We're going to miss you.
Mr. Lindemann.
President, yes. Dr. Ed, it's been a pleasure to serve with you. I think we've served together for 8 years now.
12.
Well,
Well,
together. But anyway, and I wanted to thank you. This has been a really a nice way to start these things. And I just wanted to say I appreciate your mentorship. When I was elected delegate, Dr. Ed and I went together, and he held my hand while we were trying to do all this stuff, and so I could learn how the ropes go. And I really appreciate that, and so it's been enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Salchow.
Ed, I've known you ever since I've known Douglas, and it's been a pleasure serving with you on the board for this 2 years. And I'll see you at the
basketball games and the other sporting events, but you've done a wonderful job, and thank you.
Yes.
And what can I say, Doctor? It's been a pleasure working with you. I worked with you when I was the HR director and assistant superintendent, and now in this role, I know that you genuinely care about this district, this community, our teachers, very supportive of our programs, so I wish you well. And you won't have to hear from Alma again after this month. Scheduling many meetings.
She always
and
made my day, though.
Yes, yes, and always asking, why are we meeting now? Why are we meeting again? So thank you, Dr.
Anybody else on members of the administration?
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of hard to say a goodbye speech. They always say, you know, people that are in office, you know, instead of saying or trying to stick around and do something, you know, they should just fade away, and that's probably what I'm planning to do. I just want to thank all the people that I've served with in my 12 years, Mike Ortega especially, Mr. Ramos, Mr. Lindemann, and now Jana. And the thing that gives me probably the greatest thing that I feel that was achieved, and that is when President Ray Bahrain came on the board. We were a good board, but I think when he came, he made us better. And for that I am thankful. And so thank the city of Douglas, the people of Douglas, for electing me for this many years. And I guess in a way I am going to miss it, but still, you know, it's my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along now. Governing board members, any reports? Item G, school activity report. And start with the reason for the crutches.
Last night I had a soccer game and I don't know, I hurt my knee.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Samaniego, and members of the public. The activity report at DHS and DUSD schools for the month of December is as follows. Our school highlights. We've got great news to share about our students at DHS. DHS had a busy fall semester participating in various marching band competitions. With each competition, the students have improved their performances. Educators Rising attended the Educators Rising Leadership Conference. Our foreign language and fine arts classes had beautiful displays for everyone to see in honor of Dia de los Muertos. What's going on in our district? The last day of the quarter is December 23rd, which is the start of our winter break. Students return after the new year on January 9th. DHS. December 8th, DHS Choir performs with Cochise College for the winter concert. December 9th through the 10th, it's the Tim Brown Wrestling Invitational. December 13th, DHS Band Concert with middle schools. December 15th through the 16th, Girls Basketball at Benson Invitational. And Spirit Line at AIA Game Day Championships. December 19th is the NHS Induction Ceremony. Ray Brain Middle School. School Spelling Bee will be Thursday, December 8th at 12 p.m. PTSO meeting will be Thursday, December 8th at 5 p.m. ELL Parent Night will be Monday, December 12th at 5 p.m. Christmas Band Concert will be Tuesday, December 13th at 6 p.m. at the DHS Auditorium. Christmas Dance sponsored by Yearbook Club on Wednesday, December 21st at 6 p.m. Christmas-themed School Spirit Days for the week of December 19th. Huber. Benchmark testing is currently ongoing. Second quarter athletics is ending. 8th graders will be completing HS Frosh registration on December 12th and December 13th. Clausen. 2022 Spelling Bee champion 5th grade student Abel Miramontes, runner-up 3rd grade student Ayana Bencomo, and 4th grade student Jorge Renova. Mrs. Pineda's Cafecitos Night was a huge success. Thank you to all the sponsors and parents who came out to support our 5th graders and learn about how kindness can help end bullying. Clausen Student Council is hosting a 12 days of dress down. PTSO Reading in the Dark 'Twas the Night of at Clausen will be December 14th. Our kindergarten students will be singing at Haven on December 15th. Parent Christmas concert will be December 20th. Clausen Annual Winter Wonderland will be December 23rd. Stevenson. 2022 Spelling Bee champion is Mariah Acosta with Mr. De La Rie, 5th grade. Spelling Bee runner-ups Zoe Plum with Mrs. Acedo, 5th grade, and Luis Aguirre with Miss Acedo, 5th grade. Pictures with Santa on December 6th, courtesy of Diane's Photography and PTSO. Penguin Christmas Shop is December 12th to the 16th. Joe Carlson. Our Spelling Bee champion is Jacob Barcelo from Mrs. Ramirez 3rd grade class. Our second place runner-up is Chloe Zamora from Mrs. Gonzalez 5th grade class. And our third place runner-up is Marco Burruel in Mrs. Perez 3rd grade class. Thank you to our PTSO officers, parents, students, and staff who participated in the Christmas parade. Pictures with Santa will be held on December 2nd thanks to our PTSO. Our staff is having a Christmas Angel program to help make a difference for our students this Christmas. PTSO will be having a Christmas dance for our students on December 16th. Student Council will have a Christmas-themed Spirit Days the week of December 19th. Sarah Marley. School Spelling Bee winner was Maya Powell. Sarah Marley hosts Pictures with Santa on Monday, December 5th. Sarah Marley Stocking Night will take place at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, December 21st. And Ferris. Ferris Student Council is sponsoring the 12 days of Dress Down beginning on Thursday, December 8th. There will be different Dress Down days throughout the 12 days. Ferris Spelling Bee to take place on December 9th. Ferris will be displaying gingerbread houses decorated by our students in the NPR through the winter holiday. Our holiday winter recital will take place on December 19th, and we will be having our end of quarter 2 celebration on Friday, December 23rd. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Item G2, budget report, Mr. Soto.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. Again, this is the budget balance report for the month of November. As you can see, there's still, most of has been encumbered. Just to remind you that we're going to have a change on this report on January, especially because of the minimum wage increase. So there's going to be a lot more salaries encumbered in January. I don't know if you have a specific question on the report.
Members of the board, Dr. Gomez.
You still haven't heard what they're going to do at the state level for funding?
For the aggregate expenditure, is that what you're
Yeah.
talking
for next
about?
year?
Well, it's been some legislatures are talking, and they want to have some special meeting before the end of the calendar year to actually talk about the aggregate and see if it will be possible to actually make a decision now instead of waiting all the way until March. So that'll be a good thing. That's still on the table. There's no signs of any meeting happening soon, but we'll see. I'll notify you guys as soon as I hear something.
Anything else, Dr. Gomez?
No.
If they have that special session, one of the other items that's going to be considered, right, that could drastically hurt public schools, right?
Correct.
That's go ahead and say it's for public consumption. About the increase in the vouchers.
The
Right.
vouchers, yeah, that's a big push on increasing the vouchers. As we all know, it's been an increase on sending those to different families, but now they're asking for more money. So whatever amount they're getting now, they think is not enough. So if that happens again, that's going to hurt public schools tremendously.
It'll go from 7 to 9,000.
From 7,000 to
And that money will
9,000.
come directly out of the
funding for schools.
For public schools. Okay, Dr. Gomez.
Well, it's funny because they give the voucher for 7,200, but they don't give us 7,200 per student.
No.
Why are they
Would it be
willing to
nice?
do the voucher? Yeah.
Okay, anything else? How about the human resource report, please?
So good evening. Enrollment currently is at 3,820. Last year at this time, it was 3,906. Compared to last month, however, we have dropped 44 students. COVID and the flu season are here. We're all feeling the impacts of that. So just so that you're aware, in October, we had 3 staff cases of confirmed COVID and 6 student cases. As of right now, from December to today, we have 32 staff cases and approximately 20 student cases. So we're feeling that in our schools, student attendance and staff attendance. And so some, unfortunately, are reporting COVID and the flu at the same time. So we are feeling that currently. So that's what I have.
Members of the board, any questions or comments regarding that report? Let's go back to you for a second on the marquees at the schools. We know that at least 3 of them don't function at all, right? At least 3 of them. So what have you found out from the state facility? What have you found out?
We haven't heard anything from the school facilities board, and as you know, there's going to be 2 that are going to be replaced with ESSER monies right now, Huber and Clausen, but we're working on trying to get those new marquees also from ESSER for all of those schools that the marquees are not functioning. So it's justifiable to buy them with ESSER monies. So we haven't heard anything back from the SFB, and I honestly don't think that they're gonna come out but we're already talked to. We're working on the ESSER monies to fund and replace those marquees.
So how many do you know that aren't functioning right now? I mean, they're completely dead.
That are completely dead.
The ones that we ordered initially.
The ones that we ordered, Huber and Clausen, those are the ones that are on their way. But we have issues with the other ones.
Okay.
So that's why we're ordering.
And
all
our
of them.
plan is to add a marquee to district office too. This is the one building we don't have one and no information. So by purchasing one for every school, we'll be adding one for district office
District
too.
office.
with
Yeah, I'm not
ESSER
going to look
funding.
at all of them while you look at them. Okay, thank you for those reports, and we're going to move along now to item G4, Chiricahua Community Health Center, and I believe they're going to make a presentation, is that correct?
Yes.
And you want to go ahead and give a description of what they're going to
Yes.
do?
We had a meeting a couple months ago. As you all know, we have the mobile unit at Douglas High School. They're there, on one day a week, I think, or twice, 2 days a week. And so now that we have middle school sports taking place, Mr. Walker had reached out earlier on and said, would it be a possibility to also provide the mobile unit for the physicals that are required for athletics, and they cost $5. Students at the high school can get them done there at the mobile unit. So that's how this conversation started. So we had a great meeting with the ladies, and we talked about potentially expanding their services in different ways, and that's what the purpose of this presentation is, what they're doing right now, current status, eventually where they would like to be, and possibility in the very near future, some options that they were looking at and discussing with me.
I know, good evening. I brought my crew today. My name is Dr. Garina Bechtold. I'm a family nurse practitioner and I'm director of advanced practice at Chiricahua. I'm here with different members, so they're colleagues and all from different departments. Like Superintendent Samaniego mentioned, to talk about how we currently collaborate with DUSD and how we see this collaboration growing and expanding to help the health of our teachers. That was really interesting that you brought that up, and our students. Can we have the presentation?
He's trying to get it
Oh,
up.
They're right here. Maybe.
oh yeah. All right, that's just DUSD and Chiricahua. Next, please. So this is the agenda. It's just 3 quick items. So the first one is vaccines for children at DUSD. The second is sports physicals for middle school children, like Superintendent talked about. And the third one is the DREAM. It's school-based care for DUSD students and employees. Okay, next.
Good evening. My name is Kelsey Vincent. I'm an RN, and I'm also the vaccine program manager for Chiricahua. I oversee all of our vaccine programming throughout Cochise County. Currently, what we offer in Douglas for Chiricahua is walk-in clinics for pediatrics. We've tried to make these more accessible more recently. We're open Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. For walk-ins, we've expanded those hours to kind of make it more accessible for patients and parents. We know it's not easy to get your kids out of school or out of work, so that's definitely something we've worked on in our clinics. The dream is to be able to bring you guys vaccines to the schools themselves. So we would work with the school nurses to find out who maybe do a once monthly catch-up day for all kids that fall on that catch-up schedule who need their vaccines in order to be in school. We'd come to the school, work with the nurses, vaccinate those kids. They wouldn't have to leave the school, parents wouldn't have to pick them up, take a time off, just making this more accessible. Also working with you guys for like registration events. When they're coming back to school, there's a list usually of vaccines they all need before they can start, so we want to work together to make sure we're not delaying them starting school and having to chase them around to find time to take them in to get to the appointments. We would just bring those vaccines to you guys, and then they would be able to get them right here at the school while they register, and it would be more accessible for parents and for patients. And that is all I have for vaccines.
I have a question. When you give them to the children or the student, are you going to have an adult to be with them?
So we'll do make sure everything's legal. There would be permission and everything, and go from there. Just making sure we're legally covering all of our bases for parents. So whatever works best for the patients and the parents
Or the family?
legally that we can do, we'll go ahead and go that way.
Okay.
Mr. President, if I may make a comment, I really appreciate the Chiricahua being able to come in and service our needs like that. If you remember, I said this during the pandemic. I said, why can't we have them going to the elementaries and da-da-da-da. And I'm glad to see that that's coming to fruition.
Yes.
So thank you very
Yes.
much.
You manifested it. That's great. Next slide, please. Middle school sports.
Hi, my name is Samantha Gonzalez. I'm actually raised from Douglas, so it's kind of nice to be back in our community. Currently, right now, we provide all services at the Douglas High School. That includes our $5 sports physicals. What we want to bring them to the middle schools. Middle school sports are back and be able to give those children the opportunity and not miss a lot of school. That's why we do it at the high school, is to where the students could come onto the mobile and then go back right to school. You don't have to wait a long, weird period of time. So our dream is to bring it to the middle schools as well.
Next slide.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm the manager of public health programs for Chiricahua. One large project that we're really working towards is school-based health care. So we do currently, like Samantha was talking about, have the mobiles stationed at the high schools. This would actually bring the clinic inside the school. So it's more of a fixed site. It's more permanent. It offers, consistent routine and, daily accessible care to students 10 years of age and older, and to the teachers as well, so to school staff in addition. This really helps us reach students that don't have a medical home, really breaks down barriers as well, something that's extremely convenient for everybody who's accessing the services this way. Any transportation issues, financial issues, all of that is kind of taken out of the equation by having healthcare based within the schools. There's also a huge link between health and academic success. The studies have shown with school-based healthcare that absences greatly decrease, hospital admissions decrease, immunization rates increase, and overall preventative services and how often they're sought out increase when you have healthcare available within the schools. Overall really promoting academic success by addressing problems, health problems with students and staff that could negatively impact their education. And overall providing a consistent source of healthcare for the school. Perfect.
Next slide, please. So why now? So Chiricahua is in a really unique position recently. We have Chiricahua providers. It has not always been the case here in Douglas. Douglas historically has been a really difficult place to recruit. Not a lot of people want to live here. I don't know why. I'm also from Douglas, raised here. And so, so we have FNP Nicole Valdenegro, who's here with us today, Lily Lara, Victoria Ochoa, and me, and Dr. Durazo and Gus. So, so it's kind of like the perfect storm, kind of the want to expand services and the ability to do so. And next slide, please. And so, like I said, not just providers, but homegrown providers. You know, I made Gus recreate his high school picture because he couldn't find it. He was happy to do it. And so these are, so we're bulldogs at heart. And so next slide. I kind of just wanted to show that we're also DUSD parents. So we all have children within the system. Like I shared, I'm from here. I moved away to go to school to the big city in Tucson, and I was there for about 17 years and have decided to move my family back home because it's a great community to live in, and I really want to help as a medical provider take care of it. And so I just wanted to invite Nicole, because she was an RN for your school district, and this was actually kind of her idea, so we're going to blame her. She's the one that brought us all here. This is kind of her idea because she saw the need to really do a little bit more than she could as an RN. And now that she's an NP, she has a little more prescription power and a little more knowledge. And we're here. Right, Nicole? Yeah? Do you want to say anything? She's all not really.
So I've worked for the district as an IA substitute and then a school nurse. So I just know that we're very limited as an RN for the schools. We'd have limited abilities. So now as an NP, it would be great to be able to be in the schools with the teachers and the students to be able to provide them a higher level of care. So I'm very excited about this, and hopefully we can get it going soon.
Next slide, please.
Perfect. And another exciting part of the project is that this doesn't exist in Cochise County right now, so this would really be the pilot and kind of paving the way for what we want to do countywide. School-based care is something that exists across the board, countrywide. Like we talked about earlier, the data shows, it's extremely powerful what it can do in the lives of students and of staff in terms of their health and empowerment. So this would really be setting the stage to hopefully being in a lot of different schools, providing care right there, not necessarily on a mobile unit outside, but having everything integrated within the school. This also frees up our mobile unit to go do additional outreach efforts. So we do a lot of service work for our special populations, our migrant and seasonal farm workers. If our mobile is no longer at the high school, but rather we have a clinic within the schools, that mobile is then free to serve all of our special populations countywide. So it's a really unique and exciting opportunity. I think we're perfectly positioned to get it started, and would pave the way for future school-based healthcare programming as well.
So that's all we have for you tonight. Wanted to make it short. I know there was a lot
Members of the board, do you have any questions?
Yeah, any
or comments?
questions?
I have one.
Sure.
Okay, because I think it was either our superintendent that she mentioned, or it was maybe Mrs. Cox, that they had COVID and flu together.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another one that I've seen.
RSV.
Yes, what is that?
So it's just another respiratory virus. Usually it affects younger children. So not typically school-aged kids, but we are seeing like an abnormal amount right now. And even we had our first death in Cochise County related to flu.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of people don't realize that flu is just as dangerous. So we really do want to offer, the flu vaccine and COVID vaccines as well. So, something Kelsey maybe didn't say, but we are also there for the parents, Mm-hmm. And so us being present and available and they're positioned to vaccinate the children if they want to be. And we can also help the parents while they're there. And really focusing our employees, your employees too, right? So one thing we don't do at the high school now is take care of the teachers. And so all the providers that I just showed you on that screen, they're all family providers, so we can see all ages. So this is an extra unique opportunity so to really expand those services to the teachers. So they no longer have to drive to Service to take the whole day off, find something to do with their classroom, and, find a substitute. I'm assuming it's difficult to do.
Yes.
And so we really want to keep people healthy. I want to keep my son's teacher healthy. I want to keep Nicole's daughter healthy, and I want her helping my son and my daughter too. So we're really here, like I said, not only as members of the community, but also DUSD parents saying we have these unique ability and need to help, and so we want to help. Let's do it.
Mr. Lindeman, did you have another comment?
I just wanted to say thank you again for filling the need, and I'm glad that you recognize that and can come and give us something that we really need, and we've needed this for forever. So thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
So something that we currently have with the agreement with Chiricahua is the possibility of expanding the mobile unit to the middle schools, because under the agreement, it says providing services to Douglas Unified School District, not just the high school. We will start those as soon as we get back from the holiday season, because there's new sports that are going to be coming. And so in talking to Mr. Walker, at the time that we met, sports had already started. Those kids had already had their physicals done. And so if there's any new students coming for the other sports in the second semester, then we will have that available. So I'll work with Sarah. Is it to who do I? Yes, right. Okay.
Samantha, yep.
Samantha to work on the schedule, and then obviously the school-based care is something that needs a lot more work and detail, and so we can definitely continue those conversations because that would be something the board needs to be involved in, because that is on-site care. And having the possibility of staff is huge, staff being cared for as well. Thank you very much. And Karina was Mr. Walker's student
I was
back in the day,
yeah,
so.
I recognize many members here, and
And Martha Alonso, yes, so
yeah,
very proud of you girls.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you for
it's
having
good to have you here,
Yes.
especially since you're all successful
Yes.
and you're all ex-Bulldogs, or are Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we want to thank you for not only what you're doing with the schools, but I want to echo what Mr. Lindeman said, that during the pandemic, when everything was up in the air and nobody knew what was going on, that you people had the foresight to provide the testing, the first testing that we did in Douglas, and then later with your vaccination sites. So we want to thank you for that as well, and being involved in the community, okay? So thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, under item H, we have public comments. We do have one, right?
Yes.
Call to the public? Dr. Christine L. Gomez is going to discuss Douglas wrestling.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Christine Gomez. I would like permission to donate custom mouth guards to the wrestling team. I'm estimating that out of the 43 to 45 wrestlers, 28 have requested the service. They will sign a permission slip, which I have on me that you guys can look at. They will come to my office, and they'll have impressions and delivery there, again at no charge. I estimate the donation to be about $100 per mouth guard. There's 28 of them, I think, roughly. I don't know when you need the full number. I would also like to remind the school board administration, it's being a little redundant, but the Tim Brown Invitational is this Friday and Saturday. Mr. Brown's son will be coming down, I'm told. We have had a big turnover in wrestling with a new athletic director, new coaching staff. I don't think that's news to anybody. We have definitely faced some challenges. I remain cautiously optimistic that we will have a successful event. And if I could please get placed on the agenda so I can report on that event next January. Because I think we'll have to, I just want to let you guys all know the pros and the cons of everything that's happening. Okay?
Sure,
Thank
thank you very
you.
much. What did, just for clarification, what did you want put on the agenda?
I just want to come back. I want to report on the Tim Brown.
Oh, certainly, absolutely. All right. Members of the board, we're moving right along now to consent agenda items under 2A, approval of the following consent agenda items, 1 through subsections 1, 2, and 3. Entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the consent agenda items.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Salchow. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barray?
Yes, item 3, action items, discussion action on the approval of certified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
Yes, as presented, we have 4 emergency substitute teachers and 1 certified substitute teacher being presented for hire.
Entertain a motion to
I
approve.
move to approve the
By
certified
Mr.
hires.
Lindeman. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Ramos. Any discussion regarding any of those hires?
These are all new
Subs.
new personnel?
For substituting.
No further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barray?
Yes, item 3B, discussion action on the approval of classified hires. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we have a campus security at Douglas High School, a custodian for RBMS, instructional aide at Joe Carlson, another ESS instructional aide at Joe Carlson, and a substitute food service worker.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve the classified hires.
By Mr. Lindeman. Second by Mr. Ramos. Any discussion? I noticed that there's another security individual. How are you doing on the filling of those positions?
We're completely filled with that one, with this hire.
Is that the second hill, or is that the one that
Yes.
was initially hired?
No, second. This
It's
is the second.
one?
Yes.
Is it from the same family?
Yes.
Law enforcement, the whole family's law enforcement. Is he here?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. So we'll introduce him right now.
Mr. President?
Yes, first of all, we want to offer condolences to him and his family on
Yes.
the passing of his father, who was a well-known police officer many years ago, and also spent many years at
Grandfather.
grandfather, and spent many years at the state level with the State Corrections Department. Yes, Mr.
No,
Ramos.
on that, I just wanted to ask, how many security officers do we have now at each school?
At the elementary, 1 each. Middle school, 1 each. And the high school has 10, 15?
No,
7.
We have 8. We look like 15. Though.
Yes. Yes. So we'll welcome all new hires as soon as we get done with all of that, so that they can come up and introduce themselves.
That security staff is growing exponentially. Every day there's something different. We're going to see a new secretary here pretty soon,
Yes.
too. So that's going to be one of the biggest departments on campus, and before you know it, he's going to come back and he's going to be talking to Mr. Soto. And anyway, any further discussion regarding this? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barray?
Yes, item C, discussion action on approval of classified resignations. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we have, again, 2 IAs, and they are rehireable. One took a job elsewhere in the pharmaceutical industry where she worked before, and the other one for health-related reasons.
Entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Second?
Second.
By Ms. Salchow. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Barray?
Yes, item 3D, discussion action on the approval of athletic resignations. Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, these are middle school, 2 middle school sports and 1 at the high school for basketball, all rehireable.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
By Mr. Lindeman, second.
Second.
By Mr. Ramos. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just wanted to know, do we have replacements, or do we need replacements right away?
For girls' basketball assistant coach, yes. And yes, because if the sport wants to continue, yes, so where they're looking for, they'll hopefully
they're-
bring
they're
somebody
looking-
at
we
next
don't have
meeting.
one yet.
Yes, yeah. no.
Okay.
Was there a vote?
Roll call.
It was Ms. Salcha that,
Oh, I'm sorry, do you have a question?
second.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
No,
Oh,
she seconded.
she seconded the motion.
she seconded the motion, Ms. Salchow.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item D, discussion action on the approval of classified transfer, Ms. Samaniego.
Yes. And presenting is, we're presenting Nadine Daly Ramos as the new Emergency Preparedness Department Secretary. And she comes from Paul Huber Middle School Secretary. And if you notice, an effective date of January the 3rd, because we don't also want to leave Mr. Walker without a school secretary. So we will use this time to fill that position, and she will start in January.
Entertain a motion to
I
approve.
move to approve.
By Mr. Lindemann.
Second.
Second by Ms. Salchow. Any discussion?
Yes.
Dr.
So this is, the lady is going to be the secretary for all of the security?
Yes, for Mr. Agui's department.
Okay?
Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, and by the way, thank you, Marco. These monitors are much, much better. We can see each other now. And I think we came into the 21st century with them too, based on the other one. Anyway, Marco, he's always there. He's always there.
Can we welcome have our new hires and Nadine and Mr. Hill come up to the podium and just introduce themselves?
Hi there. First of all, thank you for your condolences. And I'm glad to be a part of the team. Thank you for considering me. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Good to have you.
I'd like to also thank you all. I'm really excited to be part of the team as well. Thank you.
And Nadine has been at Huber for how many years now?
3.5.
3.5. And so she comes with highly recommended. And I told her to buy a good pair of tennis shoes because Augie will take her all over the school district and making notes and doing things as a secretary for his department. So welcome.
Did Mr. Walker sign off on that?
Yes, he did. Yeah, no
Right, thank
choice.
you.
Not by choice.
Good to-
Not by choice.
So welcome.
Item G, discussion action on the
We're
approval.
on F,
F?
volunteers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you introduced all the new people. Oh, these are volunteers. All right, discussion action on the approval of volunteers, Ms. Samaniego.
As presented, we have a student for their college education classes as a observer and 3 volunteers for girls soccer team, and you have all the background information.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Mr. Lindemann, second
Second.
by Ms. Salchow. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes, item G, discussion action on the approval of professional development for Clausen certified and classified staff, Ms. Samaniego.
So bringing this to the board, Mrs. Moen has, or Clausen has results-based funding that she can utilize for different things such as professional development, salaries. So she is continuing with some professional development on reading and math standards, core objectives, RTI, and throughout the year she will be able to have this professional development. So bringing the list of staff for $30 an hour through results-based funding.
Entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
By Mr. Lindemann, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Ramos. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Mr. Lindemann.
I had a question on this. Professional development is always a good thing, but when are they going to do this? Is this weekends? Is this after the school
No,
hours?
it's, Ms. Moen, do you want to speak on that since you're the one pushing this forward?
Good evening. So it's for Saturday trainings or after-hour trainings. Mainly it's for our RTI, so we're making sure that we are addressing all the students' needs. It's also training my IAs on how RTIs should be run, and it's kind of hard during the school day because we have students and everything. So it's more for after hours so that we could really build on their ability and to help my teachers as well.
Is this going to be a volunteer type of thing? Because some teachers don't have extra time after school. I know everybody's busy.
And so what we do is we find Saturdays that people work best for, and then we'll have like 2 different ones. So if you can't make one Saturday, you can make another one. So it's just to provide extra professional development.
And how long of a program is this?
It's for this year. It's using my results-based funding. We really want to build our RTI. So we did one in the summer right before school started, and a few teachers were able to attend. All the names are on there so that whether they can attend or not, at least their names are approved so that we can pay them. And we're just working around different schedules. So we're planning for different ones throughout the next semester so that they have the opportunity to come.
So on Sundays, Mr. Lindeman, they may stay an hour, after school. And that would be one PD. On other times, they may do a Saturday, let's say 8 to 12 or 8 to 10. But it's not something that happens every day or every week. It's as needed basis for RTI or whatever Mrs. Moen feels that they need to do at the school.
I guess that was part of my question,
Yeah.
is as needed.
As needed.
It's not a program per
No,
se,
it's not an
or
ongoing. It says,
Okay.
so one of them is 95%. It's a program we've had in the district for a long time. And we wanted to make sure everybody was trained on how to use its phonics. So we have to go an hour over their allowed time. So I want to pay them for that hour. So that's kind of what's going to be used for.
And finally, how are you going to track the data so that we know if it's doing some good?
So all of that,
Mrs. Moen.
yeah, all of that will go through our RTI. So our teachers develop pre and post tests to determine on how we're doing on our standards based, and then those kids we use things like the RTI to see how they're doing. My IAs have to collect data on how their growth is during that RTI, so we can see if it's working or not, and then that's how we also rotate our groups around to make sure that they are getting the needs that their needs are getting addressed.
And I will get that data from Mrs. Moen when I do my her evaluation and principal one-on-one visits, where she is going to be sharing whether there's some growth being demonstrated through the RTI groups and other things that they're doing.
And the report will come to us to look at.
I can certainly present, yes. She can do at the end of the year report on results-based funding.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just a moment. Sorry, Corey.
That's okay.
No, and I don't have really questions. I just have a comment. I'm really glad to see that you're going to be instructing, or that there will be instruction on standard wrapping and getting down to the basics there on how to teach those specific skills and standards. And I'm glad to see that RTI will be used appropriately.
Thank you. Yes, it's something we're continuously working with. It's really, I've always wanted to get the IAs to really understand how to support them, so we need to get them trained very well so that they are helping just as much as the teachers are. Thank you. All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We're going to move right along because I know Mr. Soto said he wanted to get home and do
We need
some
to
gift
vote.
wrapping.
We need to vote, gift wrapping. We need to vote. Sure, he does.
I'll have to buy gifts first.
You're not going to do any gift wrapping? I thought for the board, you had any gift for the board?
You already got the.
Anybody else? Yeah, anybody else? Yeah.
The bow on it.
Item.
We need to vote.
We need
Yes.
a vote. Roll call.
Ms. Elcham?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Burry?
Yes. Don't want Corey to think that we had all that discussion and then we didn't approve it, right? Yes. Item I, discussion, H, discussion action on the approval of donations received for Douglas Unified School District number 27, Ms. Samaniego or Mr. Soto, either one.
Yes, we have 2 donations, one from the Knights of Columbus to Douglas High School Baseball for $3,725, and another donor's shoes for Paul Huber Middle School 7th grade art class from Mrs. Gastelum for $494.50.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
By Mr. Lindeman, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Ramos. Any discussion? Well, no, let's go with Mr. Gomez, Dr. Gomez, because I think he had a hand in that Knights of Columbus, for
Yes.
sure. So Dr. Gomez seconded the motion. We got a little side show
Okay,
going on
sorry,
over here.
yes, I got to ask Alma a question.
That's all right.
Go ahead.
Are
I'm
we
done.
okay?
Yes, we're done.
Okay, all right.
Roll call.
Any discussion, members of the board? Staff? Any discussion regarding the donations? And again, a big thank you to the
Yes.
Knights of Columbus. That's almost a biannual affair now that they're giving things all the time. So thank you, Dr. Ed. We know you had a hand in that. Roll call.
Let's do it again.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes, item I, discussion action on the approval of the revised renewal agreement for internal externship educational experience between Douglas Unified School District Number 27 and the Chiricahua Community Health Centers Incorporated. Ms. Samaniego.
This is the agreement that you already approved back in, I believe, June or July. So what this allows us to do is send our students from the CTE classes to do some sort of internship hours with Chiricahua. They go through an interview process, and so they've just updated the agreement for board approval. And Jessica, our attorney, already reviewed it. There's no changes in the agreement, just a few words that they changed.
Okay, because if Jessica
good.
approved
Yes,
it, then it's
yes,
got to be
it's
all
good.
right. I mean,
Yes.
we got to go with her, Jessica. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
By Mr. Lindeman.
Second.
By Mrs. Salchow. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Salcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes. Item J, discussion action on the approval of the revision to the Douglas Unified School District Number 27 classified salary schedule for fiscal year 2022, 2023.
Mr. Brain, before we discuss that one, I was just informed that we do have a volunteer present, and maybe since that person is present, would like to introduce themselves.
Of course.
Hello, my name is Jenny Barco. Nice to meet you guys. And thank you for the approval. I'm very excited to start coaching and show the girls.
And you played soccer, right?
Yes,
Before?
I'm a former Bulldog, and I'm playing for Cochise College right now.
Yes.
Thank
Exciting.
you.
Well, thank you for volunteering
Thank you.
your time, your spare time.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
shit, you're another one that comes from a long line of Douglas Unified School employees, right? Your aunt and your granddad, right? Work for the district?
Yes, my grandpa,
Right.
Manny.
Manny.
And Ms. Barco, who taught at Sarah
Sarah
Marley
Marley.
for years. You forgot her? Yeah, of course. You probably did because
Yes.
she's my age. And it's been a long time ago.
You put her on the spot.
I don't blame you. It's a long, long time ago.
So,
All right.
well, welcome and thank you for volunteering.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
very
your time.
much and welcome.
Okay, so we're on J.
Alrighty, so
All right, you want to go on with that, Mr. Sweplano?
sure. So like I mentioned earlier, January 1st is when the new minimum wage kicks in. So obviously we had to modify our existing classified salary schedule. So starting January, this is the new one that we're gonna have. The main things that change, we added category 1, which is what we pay our classified subs, like if we have custodians, like if we have food service
Security.
or security, then that's the minimum wage. So January 1st minimum wage will be $13.85, which is $1.05 more than what it is right now. And then everybody, so I just added 55 cents to all of the classified employees. So all classified employees starting January 1st, they're going to get a 55 cents an hour increase. Also attached to your background information is the cost to the district from all of the different funds, including grants. That how much is going to cost us. Out of the M&O is going to be $137,643 that is going to roughly cost us to that 55 cents an hour increase. And of course, all of the other grants for a total of $172,500. That's including benefits, which is so just the salary plus the employee-related expenses, which is Social Security and Medicare. Do you have a question in regards of that?
Members of the board?
So the new state minimum wage is going to be what?
$13.85.
Any further discussion or questions, members of the board? Do we have a motion on the floor?
No, sir.
Move to approve.
By Mr. Lindeman, is there a second?
Second.
And then, well, no, we'll go ahead and go with the roll call.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bering?
Yes, before we get into, I was going to mention earlier, and then I had second thoughts, but I'm going to do it anyway. When I was talking about Gregoria Barco and being a teacher many years ago, and also the grandfather who's there, I should have mentioned that when Dr. Gomez and I were in elementary school, we were selected, and I hope he doesn't mind telling the story. We were selected by the then athletic director and head football coach. How he got involved in it, I don't know. But maybe he looked at school records or something. But Dr. Gomez and I were selected as underprivileged children in the district to be sent to the YMCA Triangle Y Ranch Camp in Tucson many, many years ago. And you can see Dr. Ed did all right for himself. He's not underprivileged anymore. But anyway, I did.
You both did well.
Yeah, he did very well. And I did want to mention that that's how far back Dr. Ed and I go.
There was only one elementary school at that time.
No,
Two. We had fairs.
Two fair.
We had Turtleville.
he was in, I think he was in Porterville School at the time, if I'm not mistaken. All right. We have a motion on the floor, and we passed it, right?
Yeah.
And now we have information items, and we'll go to announcements. Ms. Samaniego.
We have early release, and the last day of the quarter is Friday, December 23rd. Winter break is December 26th through Friday, January the 6th, so the students and our teachers should report on Monday, January 9th. Hopefully, we won't have many teachers out on that day, and our annual organizational meeting is on January 3rd. Not on this, but I have also been working with our salary committee, so I may be requesting a work study session in January as soon as we hopefully get this AEL vote passed, and bring some discussions to the governing board during a work study session, because I believe that needs to be done at a work study session to discuss salaries, both for admin and certified staff, and what the salary committee is proposing, before I bring it to the board for vote. Okay.
Anything else? What about the, it's worthy of mention, the study session we're going to have next week?
Yes, so reminder of the study session on Tuesday for letter grades and school improvement.
Yeah, and I think all board members will be available with the
Except
exception of
Mario, Mr. Ramos.
Mr. Ramos.
Okay, what time?
5 p.m. If you
Yeah,
can,
okay.
you're still a board member, Dr. Ed.
Yeah, I know.
Executive session. The governing board may vote into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03 subsection A, number 1, for the following personnel matters. Superintendent Ana Samaniego's annual evaluation. I'll entertain a motion to do
I
that.
move to enter into executive session.
Is there a second? Second by Ms. Salchow. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Bering?
Yes. So we'll be in executive session. We'll just stay here, members of the board. Okay, if the boss back there gives us the word, are we ready to go? Okay. All right, we're back in open session, and we have under item 6A, discussion action to approve Superintendent Ana C. Samaniego's annual evaluation. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
I move to approve Mrs. Samaniego's evaluation.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Ramos. Any discussion?
Yes,
Dr. Gomez.
and obviously, you know, it was, the evaluation is just something that, so that you learn, and that was the only bad one. I don't know if it's even bad, but the thing of it is, I think that you kind of understand now where we're
Yes.
from.
Very good. And she continues to meet great expectations of the board, and she meets them. So with that, we'll have the roll call.
Ms. Elcha?
Yes.
Mr. Lindemann?
Yes.
Dr. Gomez?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes. Entertain a motion to adjourn
Move to adjourn.
Second.
by Mrs.